All right, welcome to our latest Swampcast. Robbie, Andreu, and Pat Dooley, the Gainesville Sun. We're going to talk about Florida, Tennessee, which we weren't sure was going to be played. We weren't sure we were pretty sure it was going to be played. We just didn't know where.
Yeah, a matter of where.
It ended up being in Gainesville, and I think it was the right decision. I know there's some people that don't necessarily agree with it because of the gas shortage and everything, but that was being monitored. Again, if you don't know where we are in terms of Irma, it did some damage. There's no question about it. There's some flooding in some areas. So, but as far as the campus goes, it's fine. You'll see a few leaves and a few branches when you come to the game. And I would say what they have encouraged everybody to do, and I agree with 100%. Get here early, A, because traffic you're not going to have the same amount of cops out there, and B, show up with a full tank of gas, or don't count on getting gas here. It's getting better, but it's still an issue.
Yeah, if you don't show up with enough gas to get home, you may be staying the night. So, and there's no hotel rooms, I would imagine. So,
yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's getting better, and as you go away from here, it probably is better in some places. But it's been a crazy time. I think one of the biggest things, Robbie, for Florida is not getting that game in. Is really we're going to see how big of a deal it was. It feels like it was a big deal.
Yeah, because you usually have that game when you get ready for your regular season, and they didn't have that. So they come off a terrible loss to Michigan with all these question marks, which usually could get a little bit of an answer if you play in Northern Colorado. But now you don't. You go in kind of blind a little bit in terms of certain things you can and can't do.
Yeah, and I really didn't like Mac's body language on Wednesday when he usually does a presser on Monday. Obviously, that wasn't going to happen. And they moved it back to Wednesday, and he was very somber, talking about families, and I know that that's weighing heavily on his mind. But I think there's more to it. I think it's the fact that they didn't get that game and that they've now lost 3 games. I asked him that question, Robbie, and he never really answered it. But, I mean, shocking.
But you only get so many games a season. Yeah. When you lose 1 or 2 or 3 like they have, it's just unbelievable for players, coaches, everybody.
It's pretty amazing. And again, not having that game as a practice game. One reason I think that this game is not getting a lot of hype. Now, it's a 3:30 game on CBS because they scheduled it well in advance. They didn't know Florida.
You do that with this rivalry.
Yeah.
You schedule ahead of time.
And it is still a big rivalry game, but it's not getting the hype. It's not getting a lot of attention nationally. And I was on a radio show earlier, and I said, well, I think one reason is neither team's fan base trusts their coaches.
No, they don't. And I know that I talked to Jimmy Himes up there from Knoxville, Pat, and he said the fans up there are out of their minds about the defense.
Yeah.
And he said they haven't played any good on defense since the second half of the Florida game. And I assured Jimmy to assure his fans that they will look good Saturday because that's what Florida's offense does. And I see that happening again.
Well, and if they don't, then they need to blow it up. And this is what I'm writing for Saturday's paper. Whichever side, like if Tennessee's defense gets shredded by Florida, they need a new defensive coordinator.
Absolutely, that's a good column.
And if Florida can't move the ball on this defense, they need a new offensive coordinator. I mean, I don't ever like calling for people's jobs. I mean, maybe you can reassign them like they did at Eastern Carolina. I think they reassigned them to the concession stand. But clearly, if you can't move on this defense, which has given up over 600 yards in 4 of their last 5 games against Division I teams, 600. Not 500, not 400, 600 yards, then you've got a problem.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, I just talking to people, I've talked to a lot of people who have been able to attend practice. I'm not giving any names, but guys aren't getting open in practice either. And they're not getting open because I don't think they're getting taught how to get open. I think they're being taught, okay, you run here and here. There you go.
Yeah, you got it. And the thing is, Pat, the coaches say, go out and play and have fun, but give them something creative to have fun with.
Yeah.
They're not getting any kind of creativity on offense, and it's so predictable that, I don't know if moving Nussmeier to the press box is going to help at all, but at least he maybe can see things better and maybe have a better idea of what might work. But, they got to do something in this game or people are just going to go crazy.
You know what would work? Move him to the press box and then shift him with me. Change him with me because I got some ball plays now.
There's no pressure on you. You could just go ahead and wing it.
We're throwing deep all the time. I can promise you that. But look, the bottom line is this game usually comes down to little things. It comes down to turnovers. It comes down to running the ball, which they can do really well.
They're balanced. They're very balanced, just like Michigan.
And Florida's defense has got a tough task ahead, especially a defense that didn't play well against Michigan. Over 400 yards, which isn't ridiculous amount. It's not 600, but it is a lot of yardage to give up, and so it's going to be a tough task for Florida. But in the end, I'm curious to see the crowd. I think it'll be a packed house. I think a lot of people want to see all these new things that they put into the arena, to the stadium. I keep saying arena for some reason. I don't know
You've
why.
got basketball in your mind already.
So
do a lot of Florida football
It's a
fans.
basketball school, right? Or a baseball school, I guess we should say.
It is that.
But I'm just curious to see if this is an electric crowd. It's a crowd that's not going to be patient. I know that, right?
I know. I mean, I was thinking if they get off to a bad start on offense, you may hear some booing in there, which would be an awful thing coming off of this storm and everything.
Yeah.
But
because the players don't know you're not booing them.
I know exactly. If you hear boos, you think it's for you. And the thing is, I think the players, talking to them the other day, I think they think the atmosphere is going to be electric. So we'll see if the fans can live up to that, given all that's happened.
Yeah, and again, hopefully they show up early, like they've been asked to do, and it is a good crowd. And again, here's my advice, Coach McElwain. You don't need it, but I'm giving it to you. Let Felipe have this game. Be aggressive. Throw the ball deep a lot. Open things up.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you hit them or not. We've seen, Robbie, college football games and NFL games so far early this season. Everybody's throwing deep a lot.
I know.
And they're not necessarily hitting them.
Yeah.
But every once in a while you might hit one, and you might get interference, or they're going to have to play back.
Yeah, and then you're going to crack some runs. We've seen that all weekend. So you're right. I mean, they got to do something different.
And we'll see if they do. And if they don't, it could get ugly around here. Don't forget, no Florida team has started 0-2 since Doug Dickey's 71 team.
People shudder at the thought of that.
He had John Reeves run the option.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was not good. I remember you and I listened to that game in your bedroom. 1971.
They
lost to Duke 12-6.
Oh my gosh.
It wasn't pretty. We knew it was going to be a bad season then. We'll see what happens in this game. And then we'll come back with you. We'll be doing a Facebook Live Swampcast. Robbie and I, we think we know how to do this. We did it from Dallas, and it kind of worked. I forgot to make it public, but we'll work on that.
He made it private, so it didn't work with the public.
Yeah, my friends all got to see it, but we'll be doing
all
that.
All three of them.
Yeah, both of them, yeah. And we'll be doing that Swampcast after the game. It'll be certainly interesting to see what happens. Until then, Pat Dooley, Robbie, Andreu, the Gainesville Sun saying so long from the Sunshine State.